Right then, welcome back to the George Groves Boxing Club. I am here with Dec, and we are at the press conference for Beterbiev versus Bivol. No, sorry, it's Beterbiev versus Bivol. But on those lines, I'll give a little shout out to our sponsor, Beterbiev.
Pound for pound number one in all betting companies.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Online gambling, that's the place to be, Beterbiev.
Beterbiev.
But they're not boxing Dmitry Bivol.
No, they're not.
Artur Beterbiev is.
He is. And Dec, for me...
Or Berbatov, as you used to call him.
Berbatov. He used to play for Tottenham, didn't he? Yeah,
he did.
There you go.
Football knowledge.
This is the best fight that can be made in boxing, in my opinion. Not the biggest, Dec, but this is the best fight that can be made in boxing. Do you agree?
I think it's a very, very sturdy argument for that.
Sturdy argument? What?
Like, I mean, I think there could be... I think we'll look back on it. I have a feeling, we'll get into this fight a bit more in a bit, but I'm not sure this is going to be the most exciting fight in the history of boxing. I don't think it is.
Really?
No.
You think Bivol will shut him down?
Yes.
Really?
Just off the bat, yes. But I think it's the best fight. It's the fight that we need most in all of boxing. Because we saw Usyk Fury.
Yep.
So we know the number one is at heavyweight, and we're going to run that again.
Yep.
But we need this one more than any other fight, I think. And there's all the lightweight fights that we made. People have gone up to 140, etc., all over the shop. Anue's unified everywhere. This is the one fight, the outstanding one. Literally the one that's left. It's outstanding too, but it's the outstanding fight that Riyadh season and Saudi, they tie in everything together for everyone. And this is the one, like the last piece of the jigsaw.
And we're going to get it. We're going to get it. I feel like now we're going to get it. For a while, I wasn't sure we was going to get it. I didn't know if, injuries or whatnot was going to prevent him. But I think it's the only fight that these two can take. You know, it's a mega fight. It's a great fight. It's sort of now or never. Because, you know, Beterbiev's getting old, man. I'll tell you what. Maybe he's getting old, maybe he's not. But you'll be delighted with this, Dec.
Go on.
I actually got some one-on-one time with him.
Journalist George, at it again.
I did. And this if you think, you know, what I've delivered so far... Award-winning. Wait till you listen and see what you're about to see.
Okay, so everyone out there who's not sure about who to pick in the fight, wants a bit of insight, they've come to the right place.
Absolutely. But Beterbiev, I actually ask him, is it Beterbiev, is it Beterbiev? He answers, and I think I'll fuck it up anyway. But
spoiler alert.
Everything you need to know about this fight is delivered in these next few minutes.
Let's get it in. Let's get it straight in.
Boom. Mr. Beterbiev. I've said it wrong again. I'm so sorry. How are you? Good to be in London?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. How are you? Yes, London is always good.
Yeah, you have to do all these obligations for the big fight. You have to come to London. You train in Canada, right?
Yeah, I'm training in Canada.
Yeah? And how's training been? Good?
Good.
Anything new this camp?
It's always new. New opponent is new camp.
Yeah.
New things, new everything. Like,
is it tough? What's training like where you live in Canada? Is it cold now? Is it warm?
No, it's a little bit hotter than here.
Yeah.
In London.
Yeah.
A little bit hot.
And you prefer that?
Yeah, it's good.
You're used to it because sometimes it's snowing.
Yeah, snow is too far.
It's too okay, cool. So you out running. A friend of mine, Craig Richards, he's been out sparring with you this week. I think he's back now. Last few weeks.
Okay.
How was that?
He's good, yeah.
So sparring's been good?
Yeah, he helped me a lot.
Yeah, perfect. And is this your toughest fight yet? So you're fighting Bivol. Lots of people are unsure who the number one fighter in the division is. And maybe this will be the answer after this fight. Are you the number one in the division?
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be a different answer from you as the fighter. You'd be like, no, I'm the man. It's me. That's the alarm for the end of the interview. That's okay. What's that alarm for? Is that lunch? Food?
No. It's
you got to call the wife? Girlfriend? No?
Okay. Girlfriend, wife?
No, not yet. Make sure you don't miss your taxi to the airport.
Yeah, taxi to the airport.
Yeah. So you're back training? How much training you got left to do?
One
Sparring
day.
Finished?
No, it's still.
Yeah?
They do. We still do sparrings.
Yeah. Do you have a prediction for the fight?
I never did prediction. You heard about my prediction for our previous fights?
No, I don't think so.
No, it's still...
Still the same?
Yeah, still the same.
Your prediction is no prediction?
No prediction.
So you always win and you always knock them out.
But we'll see what happened there. But I'm always preparing for a fight, more focus for details instead of talking.
Yeah. What does Bivol do well that you need to be worried about?
He's doing many things good, He's good boxer. He has good experience in professional boxing and amateur. We'll see.
Yeah. So you haven't visualized already. You haven't thought about it. What the punch is going to be that's going to maybe secure you the win, maybe get you the knockout.
We'll see.
We'll see. Okay, well, there we go. We've got to tune in to find out. Thank you very much for your time today, pal. Appreciate it. Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Well, George, we had a long break from this podcast. I think we should. I don't think it's going to get better than that. I think we should.
Do you know what?
I think we should. Like Josh Warrington laying his gloves down in the middle of the ring. I think that we should retire, close the doors for this club. It's not going to get better than that.
It's not going to get better.
No.
I'll tell you what, right? He's used to stopping people. I was not going to get stopped.
Brilliant.
I think I clung on for like
For dear life.
some sort of decision.
Yeah.
Right. But there
you're
we go.
swinging in the 10th round,
And
just
do you know
trying
what?
to hang in.
I got here and I said, I'm getting Beterbiev. I'm getting Bivol. I didn't get Bivol. After that, I was like, Bivol on the press conference, he started off with, I said, we're going to get him. And then a translator started and I went, nah, we're not having
forget
him.
that. Yeah.
And then he finished off with a lovely bit of English. I was thinking, but we've missed out.
Well, you got him.
We got him.
Look, you come to these press
And
conferences.
he is my man. I'm backing him for this fight.
Okay, right, let's get into that. So you come to these press conferences, you're not sure what you're going to get. What you do know is that the main event in this fight, obviously the undisputed light heavyweight title, October 12th, you go, I want to speak to the main event fighters, and you got one of them. You got the one with the 3 belts, to be fair.
Yep.
So let's get into the fight then before we look at the rest of the card. This has been a fight long in the making. It's what, when people go, oh, this one's crept up. This is like the opposite. This one has slowly crawled towards us. Got cancelled in June the 1st, when Bivol boxed instead in Saudi. Beterbiev had a meniscus tear, serious injury. Before the Callum Smith fight, he had a problem with his teeth. Remember that one? Like some dental problem. So he's constantly having injuries and the fights aren't happening. This one is happening.
Yep.
And you think the lava, the 20-0, 20 knockouts, is going to be 21-0.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
He came in here, and as you've all heard, he spouted it out for us, and he's the force.
That was a compelling argument.
Coming. Yes.
The lava's coming. Did you tell him that? You should have said you're the lava, mate.
I forgot to say
Yeah,
that. Dave.
shame.
That would have been good.
Yeah.
That
Give him
would
a
have been good.
t-shirt.
His phone went off halfway through. I thought it was
Amateur.
obviously. I thought it was notification to call his wife or missus or something.
Yeah. But even
I mean, to be fair, Bivol would have found that funny.
Yeah,
I reckon we could have got a bit more.
Yeah.
Bivol would have had cheeky bants. But I'm
He's
going
all
Beterbiev.
business.
But he's the lava. The lava is coming. And he's a force to be reckoned with. Yeah.
I mean,
I'm going out. I'm going for him.
Okay.
I'm going for him.
So okay, well that's good. Well, we're on both opposite sides of the fence, because at first I thought the same. I thought there's just no way, because we've seen him be in trouble in fights. Anthony Yard hit him a lot. Wasn't in trouble, but Anthony Yard hit him a lot before he got stopped.
Yep.
Callum Smith, not so much.
Nope.
But we have seen him, people close the distance and land on him. Obviously, he's tough as fuck, doesn't matter, and then he comes back and knocks you out.
Yeah.
But Bivol is so highly skilled. He's so tight with what he does, which obviously saw against Canelo, a smaller man, but pound for pound number one, arguably at that point. And then now he's going in there with an aging Beterbiev. I won't say that around him because I might take my head off, but it's true. He's not 33, 34. He's in his twilight years, whereas Bivol feels like he's at his peak. And I just think
You're not going to convince me.
I don't
Greg.
listen.
I'm
I don't
sticking to
want to. I don't want to come in bring in stories from the gym. I have no access to the gym, but what I'm hearing is that he's looking old. Okay, and that's based on that I haven't seen him. So this is second, third hand knowledge, fourth hand knowledge.
Yep.
But there's no smoke without fire, and we've heard from Dan Aziz on this podcast, who sparred him, went out there and sparred him in Montreal, and he was like, "This guy is another level monster."
Yeah.
Like his sparring partner picked Dan up from the airport. He said the sparring partner's nose is broken, got 2 black eyes because he's done 3 rounds with Beterbiev. So like, he's serious, but you can't go on forever, George. You can't. And if there's one man who's skilled enough to just keep someone off and to nullify and to make this...
Could you try again?
That's my theory.
That's literally we do know.
Tell you what, someone that could be Beterbiev's team trying to infiltrate this.
Trying
But
to
look,
listen to your analysis.
we fall on different sides of the rope every now and again on this podcast.
Yep.
I think this is going to be one of them.
Nothing stops the lava. I'm leaving it at that. Nothing stops the lava. I'll tell you what didn't stop.
Go on.
Should we go into the heavyweights or should we go into Chris Eubank?
Let's go straight into Eubank.
Right, I'll tell you what didn't stop.
Go on.
Was Chris Eubank's chat
Mate.
at this press conference.
I mean,
So-
he's been missing a lot. Like this pod, he went missing for a while, and he's in and out. But when he's around, is always a talking point. I don't know, like talk about lawsuits. I don't know how many he's going to get hit with, but he is up on that stage, spitting like
Yes.
fire, venom from the off. I don't know if he got teed up either. The question he was asked was, "Why did you sign with Box or whatever?" But it was just like,
I know what you're
wind him
getting
up
at.
and let him go.
I know what you're saying. Did he get teed up, right? Yes, of course. Everyone's
Did
probably seen it already.
Did someone warm him up?
I got Chris Eubank before the press conference, and we got into it, and that's already up online. And I hope you have seen it. If you haven't, go back and watch that interview with Chris Eubank Jr. And I did ask him to lend me 20 quid after, and I don't know if that put money in his mind, you know. And then we saw that creep out in that press conference, but he went on the offence, didn't he?
Big time.
And back to his glory days, 100 punches around it felt
Yeah,
like. And
volume punching.
everyone got it.
Yeah.
Everyone got it.
He was giving everyone a spray. Apart from Turkey Al Sheikh, the man behind this card.
Yep.
And apart from Ben Shalom, his promoter now of Boxer. But basically, if you were the other promoters, you were getting it.
Yeah.
From Eubank. Even
Mossman wasn't here and they got it.
They got it. They're not even it. And even Frank Smith, who, let's not forget, his girlfriend, his partner, is Chris Eubank's sister. So he's in the family. He's around there having roast dinners and stuff. He got it as well. Nobody is safe when Chris Eubank Jr. is around. And he became this talking point of today's presser. I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
He come off the stage. Chris is a serious dude. And I said, that was good. And he gave me like a wry smile as
He
if to
knows what he's
say,
doing.
yeah.
That's the George
But-
Groves move.
Before we started recording, you told me we're worried that he might get pulled from this card. I mean, at time of recording, he hasn't. Maybe he has by the time this comes out.
Contractually, I'm sure it's watertight and he's on, but you don't sit up in a press conference. I mean, Adrian Broner's done this stuff before, but you can see Frank Warren's 3 feet behind him, and he's calling him names. He's questioning his integrity and everything else. Eddie Hearn's over there. They're the two main men outside of Riyadh season who are involved in this card. I mean, if he. Will this fight? Can this fight happen? Like, will he remain on this card? I'm not sure.
Yeah,
It's mad. I've never seen
if
anyone speak about Frank Warren like that in his company ever.
Well, let's say who calls the shots? Who makes the big decisions?
I guess it's signed and sealed and delivered. So
no,
he can
no.
say
But
what he
who's the
wants.
big boss? Who's the big honcho? Is that the right word?
Yeah,
Honcho?
head honcho.
Head honcho.
Well, it's Turkey. I'll shake the chairman.
Did he
of
get
the
any
GEA.
stick?
He got the love, of course.
And what has Eubank done today at this press conference? He
He's
blew it up. He's
blew
done his
it
job.
up. And also, we know Turkey loves
So-
a storyline. He loves controversy.
Oh, exactly. So if Frank goes, this Eubank, he's took the piss. You know,
Yeah. We got
and he goes, I know, but it was funny.
People are talking
At
about
least.
it. They're talking about it on
So
the
Frank's gotta
GGBC.
go-
Yeah.
I mean, Deck and George couldn't shut up about
Yeah,
it.
I mean, we'll see. He's boxing Kamil Zemaretta, who boxed Gennady Golovkin before. That's where he's sort of most famous and best known for. Weird in these fights because he's obviously a huge favourite. And we don't often see fights that are this lopsided on the odds on the Saudi cards.
True.
My feeling is this is the one before the big one.
Yeah.
I don't know who that big one is. Hamza Shiraz, maybe. We know apparently Eubank turned down that Wembley fight against Hamza Shiraz, so he boxed Tyler Denny. Maybe it was, okay, we'll give you one, and then it's going to be Hamza. And maybe that's the deal. And if that is the deal, they're not going to get rid of him off this card. He's going to box, and he's going to box Hamza. Because you see in the press conference, Frank Warren said to him, why didn't you box Hamza?
Well, listen, if you haven't gone back and watched that interview with Chris Eubank,
Now's
I
the time.
asked, how you feeling? Why this guy? He explains in great detail that he's been at the Caesar's Palace buffet, he's been loading up, and therefore he couldn't go straight into a big fight like that. He
Well,
needs
Canelo,
to fight.
fair enough. You don't often hear boxers say that. They say, I'm ready for anything. Or go. But he was like, I don't want a Canelo fight after I've been out for a year or whatever it might be. So, yeah, Eubank's back for now.
Yep.
That was a hell of a rant. You know, it was one of those where my desk are like, you got to get this stuff over. This is gold. This is gold. This is gold. And that's Eubank in a nutshell.
Right. Next on the
talking
card,
of
mate.
gold. Go on.
Gold, yes. We're the ECM Derby. We've had it, but it's the ECM rematch. Is this the first?
I think it might be.
It's got to be the ECM rematch.
Yeah, the rematch first.
Right, so this is the very first in the club.
No, it's not. Brad Paul's Nathan Heaney box each other in a rematch.
Yeah, and Jordan Gill and Conor.
But at heavyweight.
At heavyweight.
It's the first heavyweight ECM derby rematch.
Yes.
And what a rematch. Fuck me. Like, what a first fight that was.
Yeah,
I've never seen anything like it.
Frazer Clarke against Fabio Wardley.
Yeah.
Right, I had the chance to talk to Fabio, and Fabio said, absolutely, mate, I want to be there. But then I think it's chiropractor or someone jumped in and said, no, he's got to get back to the gym. So fair one. You know, Fabio says, I've got to listen to the chiropractor. He had to shoot off, but I did manage to get Frazer Clarke.
Okay, should we hear that?
Yeah, let's hear Big Frazer. Big Frazer Clarke. The rematch is on, mate. How you feeling?
Yeah, I feel good. I'm at that stage now where obviously, you know, you're deep into a training camp. There's not too much left. Starting to come out, things are slowing down a little bit now.
Yep.
So we're coming out the side of the darkness, and we're starting to see the light. Do you know what I mean? Not too much training left to be done.
Yeah, that's perfect, man. I love that Frazer camp.
Yeah.
I love that Frazer camp when you're just getting there. It's just everything's starting to click, starting to feel sharp, starting to feel good. Yeah. You saw him today. Anything different about him?
No, not really. You know, like I say, you know, I take a lot from the two headliners. You know, Bivol, Beterbiev. I know we're in the entertainment business, and a lot of people like to talk, and I do my bit, but I've got no real insults to throw at him. You know what I mean? We had a good fight last time. I met his family; they were lovely people, so I'm not going to sit here and like hurl insults at him. Just that the things that he's got over his shoulders, I really want him.
Yeah, you had an epic bout the first time round. It was brilliant. I mean, it was great to watch. Maybe at times for you, it might have felt, whoa, this is a bit exhausting. But you deliver for the fans. What have you learned most? What's the best thing you could take away from that fight at 12 rounds?
Well, I'm one of the fighters that hates. I hate watching myself back on TV. I just don't like it. But
really?
Yeah, I really don't like it.
Always been like that?
Always been like, even in amateur bouts, I really didn't like it. I've got good people
What
around
don't you
me.
like watching?
I don't look at anything good. I look at my mistakes, you just feel like, why when you do these things in the gym and you do them and you drill them and this is how you practice. Sometimes you get in a fight and you do things a little bit different. I just think, why? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm there counting. I'm not counting, and I'm not looking at myself thinking, oh, that was good. I'm looking at myself thinking, missed opportunity, dash shot taken, missed opportunity. You know, like so.
Yeah,
I'm more frustrated with myself than anything, but. I can tell you that fight now inside out because I've gone over it and like I said, we've picked the bones out of what I did well, what I need to improve on, what I need to stop happening, and I think that might be the difference.
Is that who you are as a fighter? Like when you're in the ring, there's fighters who they can take 20 shots in a round, but they land one at the end and they feel good, and then there's ones who land 20 shots, but they take one at the end, they're like, oh, I've took one too many, or they concentrate on the. Which I think is a good thing.
Yeah,
I was that fighter.
I just feel really offended to myself because I feel really offended to this thing I call a body that I let other people hit. And it's going to happen in the sport we're in, but the work that you put in during your camps, the work you put in over your career from an amateur all the way through the pros, and the stuff that you say, in camp and the stuff that your trainer says to you. We've seen it on the weekend. We've seen AJ go in the ring and what happened. I know 100%. I don't know. I haven't been in the camp, but I know 100% they didn't tell him to go out there like that. Do you know what I mean? So why do we do it? I think it's a mix of nerves. It's a mix of heart taking over, adrenaline. But the best fighters are the people that can control that. And like I say, the main event. Them guys there. You look at Beterbiev. Look at the record. Look at what he does in boxing. He doesn't do anything like flash or anything. You say, oh my God, that's amazing. What he does it very well. And you can just tell he's drilled it. So that's the things I want to do.
Yeah. Have you had a rematch before? As an amateur?
As an amateur, yeah. I've had a few rematches, but not as a pro now, obviously.
And does anything feel different this time as being a rematch? You're going in with someone who you're just fresh off fighting.
I think more relaxed because obviously this experience as being a pro and being on big cards. Last time it was main event. This time it's a massive card in Riyadh. So that's becoming more of a normal thing to me. No matter how many times I did it as a security and at your fights and everyone else's fights, it's still not the same as when you're fighting. So just being in the environment as a fighter is becoming a bit more normal. But in honesty, I feel a lot more relaxed. A lot more relaxed but I've got a lot more desire to win than the first time, if that makes sense. Because obviously I want the title, and B, I think when you have a draw, you're on a level playing field with another fighter. In my division, you never want to be that, especially in Britain. If in Britain, it's just normal bragging rights. You know, if I walk down the street, the first thing people said to me is, "Oh, you and Fabio, great fight." I'm gonna walk down the street and people say to me, "Well done, you absolutely, destroyed him." That's just the way it is.
Perfect. Well, there you go, Deck. Fraser says I think he says he had a rematch before as an amateur, but never as a pro. But he's looking forward to it.
Yeah, he wanted that. He said that in the press conference. He wanted this fight on the way back to the dressing room. He was like, "I want to do it again." Yeah, I mean,
it was a tough fight for both guys.
But what I do know about Frazer Clarke is that he had that fight, that war. I think he was sparring Ajit Kabayel within a week or something. He told me he went on holiday, came back, he starts packing his bag.
He didn't go to Italy on holiday,
no.
did he?
And his missus is like, "What are you packing your bag for?" He's like, "Oh, I'm sparring Ajit Kabayel." She's like, "Fuck's sake, he just had a war with Fabio Wardley." But we've got it again. I can't see anything other than more bloodshed, more violence like that first fight.
Yeah,
they just sort of gel together.
It's going to be hard to predict, but you're thinking, right, Frazer Clarke's thinking, right, a little bit more boxing, a little bit less, taking off the shots. But Wardley, who can't really match him, the quality of Frazer Clarke's jab, and he's obviously got that amateur pedigree that we spoke about before their first fight, but he got to him and dropped him, couldn't quite finish him. But is he the one who's coming into this rematch now with the confidence of decking the man? In the man who's fighting next. I don't know. I tried to link it somehow.
I liked it. I think that's why you're the number one journalist on the beat at the moment.
Right.
But I mean, Fabio Wardley he had some facial damage as well. It wasn't. Yeah. He dropped Clarke and stuff, but that was a hellacious fight, and who knows how that's affected either man. Another little side note: Team Ben Davison, obviously took a bit of stick after the Joshua loss.
Yeah.
As they took the praise, and Davison said, "Look, I deserve the stick now." Will he get it right in this time around?
Yeah.
Will they find the way through against Frazer Clarke again? Can they finish the fight? Can they win this clearly enough to get a decision this time?
Are we going to make a prediction with our two ECMs? No, we're not, are we? No, we'll leave it at 8. So tune in.
It's going to be a good fight, though.
It'll be a great fight.
And yeah, Fabio Wardley's 1-0 in Saudi as well. 1-0 with one knockout against David Adley. So happy hunting ground for him. But
there was one more big star. Well, there was loads of big stars out there, but there was one big star in particular, an ECM. He's on the card.
It reeked of ECMs in here today.
It did, yeah. I mean,
who'd you get?
The big star of the boxer Rostra.
Go on.
Rostra? That's not the right word. Rostrum.
Take over. Go on.
Ben Whittaker.
Oh,
Ben's in. Ben's on. ECM Ben.
The surgeon.
I got Ben in to ask how he's been, how training going. So we'll listen to that right now.
Let's hear it.
Hello, Ben. How are you?
All good.
Looking good?
I don't mess around.
You got black eyes?
No.
All right, perfect. Just looking good, yeah?
Yeah, I just thought, it's the whole Louis thing. I've got to get the Louis shades.
Perfect. There we go. Got to be careful with them Louis shades, because when you break them, they don't make them the following year. So,
I didn't even know that.
No, I've had a pair that I've had for maybe 4 or 5 years. They suit my face. I love them. And if I lose them, I'm knackered, because you just can't get them again. They don't. They're not that sort of shop.
They're going straight in the box after this.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. How's camp been?
Yeah, great. You was down there for a couple of days. I sparred your guy Lucas. It's been a great camp for me. Moved into my new gym, and it was just pretty much working.
The new gym is nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's a new spot. What's it like now moving from... Was you in a busy gym before with other people in there?
A little bit. It was more just the surrounding areas. People would come in and pop in and things like that. And then actually...
Is that like Rocky? Is it Rocky 1 or 2 where they come and they ask for kisses, don't they?
Something like that. But I used to go to a local gym for my strength and conditioning, and it's photo after photo after photo, and it's getting a bit too much. So we're now can just focus. We know what needs to be done, and we can just turn up whenever we want, which is perfect too.
Yeah, I remember at a time when I boxed, I had my own little gym, and it was just me in there, and I loved it. But then I did miss that little having other bodies in there, other fighters bouncing off them. Yeah. Have you got anyone else in the gym with you at the moment, or you might not be feeling lonely? You've only been there a week.
Yeah, I haven't felt lonely yet. But if I'm honest, I'm very lonely. If I'm honest, I just like to just focus on myself. Of course, the team camaraderie or whatever it's called is nice. It's nice having those people there, but I know what the goal is for me.
Yeah.
I don't really need people around. I just need myself, the small little knit unit. And for me, I know the goal. So for me, that's what pushes me on.
So what's the goal right now?
Win, look good while doing it, and
Yeah.
move on to the next.
So win first,
Yeah.
look good next.
Well, now
And
look
then
good first.
Yep.
Then win, then on to the next.
Okay.
So if you don't look good, you might not win. You know what I mean? That's how I see it. So it starts from the change room. You lace up your boots in the right way, put your socks on the right way, look in the mirror, make sure the hair's right. And if it's right, it's going to be a scary night.
Yeah. So is that an OCD thing? Like, are you that sort of fella?
I'm just...
You're not superstitious or
I
anything
just
like
say
that?
I'm a bit... what's the word? I love myself. I think that's the right way to be. If you love yourself, it shows in the ring.
Any predictions for the fight coming up?
Ooh, there's many predictions. It'll either be a beatdown or a unanimous win. But for me, I'd like a knockout, of course.
Yeah.
I think if you sit here and lie and didn't want a knockout, you'd be lying. But any win, any type of win, for me, that's what that matters.
Perfect. Well, you have become synonymous with ring walks as well, which is a man after my own heart. I love a elaborate ring entrance. But this is the first time you've boxed on Riyadh season, a Saudi card. But they don't spare no expense when it comes to production. Have you had meetings at this point, like to yes or no? Anything to give away?
Well, Sky, they're like, as soon as I start giving my ideas, oh yeah, we can do it bigger. I'm like, okay. But then I'm very honest as well. I'm third on. I'm not the headline. I'm not the co-main. There might be something there that's juicy for the fans, but I'm not going to go too crazy because the arena will probably be empty. I'll be coming out just to my corner team, so there's no point going crazy when there's nobody there. So for me, that's how I see it.
I don't think so, mate. You're a star. People want to get in there and see
Hopefully,
Ben Whittaker. No, of course they
but
do.
if it's an empty crowd, I fought in the Olympics when it was COVID, so I'll be more than fine.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. Have you got a prediction for the main event for the two, number 1 and number 2 in the division in your weight?
So the whole build-up, my guy there will know I've been saying Beterbiev. Because for me, Beterbiev is very clever. A lot of people just see him as he comes forward, he swings, he cuts off the ring well. And for me, he's like a pressure counter puncher. He gets into a position, makes you throw and hits you even harder. But then watching the fight a bit more, I'm going to Bivol now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to Bivol just for the simple fact he's younger. He can fight when he's there. He can keep it long. For me, out of all the weights, he's one of the best at distance control. And he's just got a great engine. Yeah. I think that might be the key factor, his engine.
You've never done any work with either, or you haven't sparred?
No. They asked me that earlier. I've tried. I've got in touch with Russ, Amber, and people like that. But every time a fight's come up, you're not the right style for us. Yeah. So it's just one of those things.
So you think Bivol beats Beterbiev, but who's the better fighter? Who would you say is the number 1 in the division? Does it mean that Bivol is the number 1, or does it technically
I'd say
not?
Beterbiev, just for the simple fact he's got more belts. That's how I see it. He's got 3 belts to the 1 or 3 belts to the 2, and to me, if you've got more, you're the better champion.
How far away are you from fighting them sort of fighters?
Not far at all, if I'm honest. It's all about having the right team to navigate you in the right steps. I'm 8 fights in. But like I said, I'm 27 there, mid-30s or 40. So I say by the time I'm 30, I want to be a world champion, latest. So if that comes before, then it comes before. Then if it comes at that right date, it comes at that right date.
Perfect. Lovely, Ben. Thanks for your time, bud.
Thank you very much.
Wicked. Well, there you go, Deck. How about that?
Ben Whittaker back in the club.
Yes.
Always, we talk about Eubank being a star turn. Ben Whittaker's stardust all over the shop. And I think he is a superstar waiting to happen.
Well, he came in dripping in Louis Vuitton, which used to be Eubank, and now it's Ben Whittaker. So, congratulations, Ben. I've been up visiting him lately in his gym. He's been looking good, looking sharp.
Yeah, has he?
Yeah. Stylish.
Always.
Yeah, always. And he's on this Saudi bill deck. Again, as we say, like usually it's these sort of more established fighters in these 50-50 fights, but they're diversifying a bit. The Riyadh season, which I think is great then, because otherwise, if you're just skimming off the top, it's going to be tough for that, not grassroots, because obviously Ben Whittaker's far beyond grassroots, but those guys who are coming through before they're fighting for the major titles, they need that attention. So it's great that they're diversifying. They've got Ben Whittaker on. There's more diversifying deck. They've got their first ladies out.
Yeah, first women's boxing in Riyadh, and it's a world title fight between Sky Nicholson and Raven Chapman for Sky's WBC featherweight title. Yeah. I mean, it's a watershed moment for the sport and for this whole Saudi revolution.
What does watershed mean again?
Watershed means it's a change, it's a turn in tide, it's a change. It's a big moment for the sport. That's all you need to know.
So what's that book, Watershed Down? What's that about?
It's about rabbits. Yeah, it's watershed down.
I know.
That's the joke. Anyway,
yeah.
it's a big moment, and because we hear a lot about Saudi, and it's always the women's rights, but they've gone, well, let's get some women's boxing in, and who better to deliver it than Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn, who just so happen to have these two featherweights who were sort of going at it, kept apart. Sky won the title.
Who's Sky with? Is she with Eddie or is she with Warren?
Very much
Yes.
a matchroom fighter. And Raven Chapman is the Queensbury version.
Yeah, so what about this, Deck? You know, you are your own person. You train, you do your own thing. But is there like some weird stigma where Eddie Hearn can't win a bout against Frank Warren right now?
I mean, that's what Raven Chapman's surely thinking.
Eddie Hearn is on a bit of a stinker,
Yeah.
and obviously you're thinking he's pulling it out of the bag with Bivol, you know, that night. But that's not till the main event.
Yeah. He's got a few more on the undercard.
Yeah.
This is a big one.
Is that genuinely a concern? Are you superstitious enough for that to be bothered?
I mean, nah. And I'm sure Sky Nicholson she's got that style. She barely gets hit. Amanda Serrano was who she wanted, obviously the star at featherweight, but she moved on and that belt was vacated because the WBC didn't like the 12 rounds, etc., etc. So now Sky is the champion. But it's a bit like with Daniel Dubois. She was the champion without beating the champion, without deposing Amanda Serrano. So now she's got the belt, but now she's trying to just build it herself and trying to say, I'm the real champ. She walks around with a T-shirt saying #1 on BoxRec and stuff like that. But Raven Chapman, obviously, is going to try and spoil the party. She'll look at Frank Warren's record against Eddie Hearn and be like, well, this is going to be...
She don't want... That's
victory
added pressure for her. She doesn't want to be the one to slip up for
and
Frank.
I think, and style-wise, a great fight because Nicholson is very back foot, very cute, slick, hands down a lot of the time. Raven Chapman is all action. Going to be like, bringing the heat. So it could be a very, very good fight. And we know women's boxing, 10-2s, breakneck speed, you know, that sprint could be, anything could happen in that one. I think it's going to be like, women's boxing, I don't know if you agree with me, but obviously it had this peak at one point in lockdown and whatnot, and every week there was these banging fights. Kind of not a lull, but it's gone a bit quieter. I think they obviously demand more money than they used to and whatnot, and rightly so. But I think this is going to be that shot in the arm for women's boxing again. This sort of fight could be it.
Yeah, I hope so.
For it to happen in Saudi on a Riyadh season card is a big moment. It's a big watership down moment.
Big watership down moment, isn't it? Yeah. So, I mean, it'll make lots of headlines outside of the sport, won't it? You know, political headlines, which is good.
Which
good for the sport.
We love on this podcast. We try and
we
generate
don't.
them
We
ourselves.
shy away from them at every
anything
every
controversial. No, not for us. Thanks.
Not for me.
No,
not for me.
No.
Right, here we go.
But
we haven't mentioned him.
Go on.
Opataya.
Oh, big
Jack
Jai.
Massey. Yep.
Yeah.
You
What a
know,
fight that is.
ECM, Elite Club member.
Yeah.
Like, for
One
those
of our
you who don't-
favourites.
If anyone at home is scratching their head, they've been out of touch for a little bit. Thinking, what's an ECM? An Elite Club member.
Yeah. And
okay?
if anyone who's been out of touch and hasn't seen our Jai Opataya one when he came over, it was before the Jordan Thompson fight.
Yep.
We got him in fight week, so he was on it, and that was intense. He's one of our best episodes we've done.
Yeah.
People loved him. Obviously, people love knockouts, and that's what he provides. Didn't get one against Maris Bradis last time. People say he was introduced to the best cruiserweight in the world. Chris Billam-Smith might argue with that. Gilberto Ramirez might argue with that. Those two are going to fight in Saudi in November. But Jai Opataya will give us an opportunity to see how good he is. Or will Jack One Smack, what a nickname that is, Jack One Smack Massey, he's always ripping up the form, but he beat Isaac Chamberlain in an upset.
Yes.
Can he turn the whole division on its head by beating Big Jai?
That would be colossal, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it?
I think he's
It'd
going to
be
be a major underdog, isn't he,
Yeah.
by the time this fight creeps over the line. Big CBS, the CBS Express.
Yeah.
Chris Billam-Smith, he was here today to announce his fight with Ramirez.
Yeah, Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez.
Yeah,
and that's going to be the top of the next Riyadh card, which is November 16th.
That's a unification in the cruiserweight division.
Yeah.
Which has got to mean that the winner of Jack Massey and Opataya is facing the winner of that too.
I think that's exactly what will happen. Maybe even, would December be too quick for him? December 21st?
Oh, okay.
No, it will because November, but it'll be this Riyadh season. So I think it'll be Q1
I'm glad
of
you're not
2025.
my manager, Dick.
I'm just saying, look, they
I
are.
mean,
We
you
were
drive
we were in Wembley on
8
Saturday, and we're here now on midweek. They don't care. They're like, just roll them on. But no, they won't be boxing in December. But I think the plan is Jai Patar's on this card. Obviously, Turkey likes Jai Patar. He's been on multiple Riyadh season cards. CBS
Who can not
first
like
one.
Jai Patar?
Exactly, because he provides knockouts. And they've even talked about the winner of Bivol Beterbiev boxing Jai Patar as well.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? I think one
What,
day.
the same night?
yeah,
Is that?
Let's not rule
Is
it out.
that-
Opataya, I think, has got legs to go to heavyweight as well if he avoids CBS at cruiserweight and doesn't get
Yeah.
beaten. So it's all to play for a cruiserweight division, and Jack Massey will be looking at that and being like, "You lot all talking about the future. I'm gonna one smack this one
Yeah.
back to Manchester."
One smack. Yeah. There's more to that, but I can't get
I was
there
trying to
quite
think
yet.
if there was a Groves one.
Groves.
Yeah,
One Grove.
one. No, there's not.
No, there's nothing.
No.
No,
But
no.
look, that's the card. It's another Saudi card that's going to deliver. You would think. I mean, the top of the bill. We've been waiting so long for it. You're backing the lava, Beterbiev
I'm back in Beterbiev. You better believe it.
knockout.
Of course.
Yeah,
There's
I
no
don't-
other,
he's
there's
not winning
no
this
other
on
way.
points, is he?
Nah.
And I just got this feeling about Bivol. I just think there's a history shows us you can't go on and on and on.
You
And
keep
Bivol is a man.
Keep talking these
Just saying. That's where I'm
these
landing.
black-eyed P lines just
I'm
keep
thinking.
coming out.
I'm thinking Bivol points. You're thinking Beterbiev KO. Perfect. It's the perfect combination. And then the rest of the card is going to be a banging one. Ben Whittaker, by the way, if he wins this, apparently he's going to headline a show in America.
That's a
if he
good
comes
idea.
through this. What a moment. He's barely had any fights and he'll be headlining in America. That's the superstar we're talking about. And we need him. We need some new ones.
Well, he's off
Ever
to
since
America,
you, ever
really,
since
that's
you
the
retired.
problem.
We've been, yeah.
Do you think?
Ever
Oh,
since you
thanks.
retired, we've been lacking superstars and now Ben
I
Whittaker turns
agree.
up.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, so the express train rolls on, the podcast rolls on.
Podcast rolls
Like
on.
London buses we are.
We are.
Yeah.
But if you go back, watch that one at Wembley.
Yeah.
You know, not my one at
Yeah,
Wembley.
didn't end well.
The one last week at Wembley. So, well, it didn't end well.
And
I
all
shouldn't
your-
have brought it up.
all your
But you
interviews-
did that on purpose.
All your interviews there on YouTube as well, standalone. You can watch them as well, and obviously listen to the pod and watch
So
the
this
pod.
podcast has obviously up-leveled itself. You know,
Obviously.
it's up-leveled. So you should, no doubt, you are right now watching this, and if you are watching it, then please do like, share, subscribe,
Comment,
comment.
send it to your nan.
Yeah,
Yeah, might as well. She loves boxing.
I thought that was MC Grinder. Your mum loves garage, and your
No.
nan loves garage.
No. Anyway, that's enough of that. Podcast back. YouTube's flying. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all of that stuff.
dude.
And when are we back next? We don't know, do we?
We're back real soon.
Yeah, we'll be
all the
back soon.
time. As soon as
Yeah.
there's boxing, we're there.
We're there.
We don't miss anything now,
Not
Dec.
anymore.
Do you know why? Because we're the Betovo of boxing.